from 10 to make sure that
Sweet.
they
Here we
find
go.
it in time.
3,
2,
1.
1.
And go,
they're
boys.
off. And here we go. So, welcome to Demon's Crest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your commentator, Rogue Link. So, Demon's Crest is the last game of the Gargoyles Quest series. Definitely one of the most popular, certainly the biggest leaderboard on speedrun.com. This first guy is pretty straightforward. A little bit of an auto-scroller in the beginning. Can't really speed it up at all, but this particular boss is actually
Demon's Crest is
easier
the
in Japanese, since it has a lot less health. And generally the positioning's easier, but not really much to talk about here. But this is a 100% race, so everyone's going to be grabbing all sorts of stuff. There's crests, which are different forms Firebrand can have. There's special attacks. There's scrolls. There's vials. Vials are going to be pretty important later, but we'll get to that. This first boss, pretty consistent. Not really much you have to worry about. You can save some frames here or there, but not really anything too difficult. You really have to mess up to die on this boss. So, we're dropping down and grabbing the first scroll here. So, scroll's one of the many things that you have to pick up. There are 5 scrolls, 5 vials, 5 crests, 5 attacks. So, 100% has... Oh, sorry, and there's also 5 talismans, but we'll get to that later. All in all, just a ton of stuff you have to pick up. This first boss can be slightly manipulated as a matter of staying on the ground. There's some bosses, a lot of bosses you can manipulate just a little bit by doing things like staying on the ground so they can stay within range. A flyer can be, or this first boss, Hippogriff, can be almost completely manipulated and be killed fairly quickly. Fairly good flyers all around here. Roachman seems to be having some bad luck. Star also getting some bad luck with the feathers. Cinema and La Hulk pulling ahead a little bit. Though my streams seem to be slightly desynced over here, but that's fine. Next up, they're going to be going for a trick called Ascent, where they're going to be trying to... getting up the edge of the wall fairly quick, but first dropping down here to get their first vial. Don't want to forget that. They're going to need at least 4 vials so they can do certain glitches and things at a certain point. Oh, no timers. Chat's asking for no timers. And yes, Star has any percent world record and is second place in Hundo. La Hulk has 100% world record and is second place in any percent. So this next boss coming up is Arma. He's also pretty RNG heavy. Definitely the source of quite a few resets. Again, you kind of just want to stay on the ground as much as possible. It's really easy for Arma to just fly off screen and get out of the way and be impossible to hit. But if you stay on the ground, it's more likely that it'll come to you. RNG Pigeon is right. So, some pretty good Armas here. Not too bad. La Hulk pulling ahead. Getting that first kill. Brojman coming up behind. And Cinema wrapping it up here soon, too, with Star Surfer not far ahead of that. So, La Hulk is jumping into the town, switching to Ground Gargoyle. Ground Gargoyle actually has the fastest movement. You can see him dashing right now. Usually in a casual playthrough, you might head all the way to the right, but in 100%, we're actually going to go through a secret path to go to one of the side bosses for this, of Nunu. There we go, breaking into that, breaking through that statue. Bit of damage boosting through this room. Everyone else, at least in the town, not too far behind. Making good pace. Hey, and we've got timers now. Excellent. So we can kind of see where the delay is. Although Brojman still doesn't seem to have a timer. Well, Hulk going through the first dark room like a champ. And then entering the first boss room. Pretty good pace. Sub 6 is pretty good pace for entering this boss room. Grabbing a health power-up right here. Everyone else not too far behind. Now you'll notice the Hulk is going inside the goo here. That's actually a slight time optimization, reducing the lag. Because if you're inside of the ooze while it's compressing, it saves significantly on lag frames. Brojman and Star also going up the ooze. Cinema coming up from behind in that dark room. The Hulk working on Nunu's eyes. Ideally, this is a bit random. You want as many eyes out as possible. Anywhere between 1 and 4 eyes can come out at a time. The Hulk getting decent eye patterns, most of them out. Hasn't missed any yet. Almost everyone working on eyes. Cinema in the ooze, starting the fight. Ooh, the Hulk getting the last eye in. Nunu's about to pop out of the ooze. So the Hulk's gonna do a quick trick here. He's going to be inside of the ooze as he picks up the power-up. That's going to save some time so that you pick up the power-up before it can fully start playing the cutscene. The lower you are in the ooze, even to the point of being off-screen, the better. Star also killing off Nunu, and Brojman getting close. The Hulk entering the forest here. Star not too far behind. Picking up a vial here, which I believe is the second vial that we're getting on this run. We've got 3 of them in the forest, not too bad. This is still a pretty tight race. Switching to Ground Gargoyle. This next room the Hulk's going through can be pretty tricky. Everything is on fire. Literally everything is on fire. So you have to be pretty good with managing what little health you have in order to damage boost through this room. The Hulk getting some pretty good fire patterns as well. Ooh, one unfortunate drop, but not too bad. Now he's switching to Brick Break here, and he's picking up the first Talisman. Talismans go in that middle slot that you see at the top of the GUI. Ooh, he picked up some health, but not too bad. He needs to be at no more than 2 health here. He's picking up a Talisman. Talismans give you passive bonuses. There's 5 over the course of the game. We end up using the last 3, but the first 2 we get, we don't have. Or the first 2 we get, we don't use. So here, the Hulk is going to die to this boss. Now that's going to despawn the fire all around in this level. He's going to go back to the room that he previously got the Talisman from. And it's going to allow him to pick up a health power-up that's very cleverly hidden under the canopy. Star just now taking the death, and Brojman fairly close. Still a pretty tight race. Alright, now the Hulk's going to go into the boss, actually killing it this time. Fairly good patterns on Flamelord here. Now, the second stage of the boss, you want to be very careful. The boss takes exactly 20 hits, and kind of similar to the Avnunu slime glitch, you want to make sure to deal the last hit to Flamelord while you're inside Flamelord, getting an early pickup, and saving about 6 to 10 seconds. Ooh, I'm not sure if he got it. It's gonna be close. I think he did, though. Hey, there you go. So usually there'd be a whole, like, death cinematic he has to go through, but since he picked it up, it's gonna be fine. Now, the Hulk is heading to the headbutt minigame. Star catching up just a little bit, also getting the inside kill. Nice one, Star. The Hulk going for the headbutt minigame, one of the trickier parts for new runners. Pretty tough minigame. Ideally, you want to get 4 torch, but it can still be pretty hard just to get a 3. I personally have only gotten 3 torches. Star's gotten 4 torch a couple times. The Hulk gets stars, or the Hulk gets 4 torches like they're nothing. Brojman also entering the headbutt minigame. And there you go, the Hulk getting his 4 torch. Right, the Hulk heading to the next stage. This one's a bit more vertically based. So there's going to be a lot of climbing. He won't be able to use the ground gargoyles dash as much here anymore, but not too bad. Oh, Star finishing the headbutt minigame, and Brojman not too far behind. Cinema is starting it now. But still anyone's race. Still fairly early on. The Hulk going through with the Brick Breaker, one of the attacks that we got from the attack we got from Avnunu, getting another vial here. This next room, it's hard to tell on stream, but the next room has a wind blowing. So what the Hulk's going to do is he's going to place 2 very well positioned Brick Break shots so that those 2 enemies can go under him. And he wants to stay in the air as much as possible so that he can get the speed boost from the wind going here. First refight of the game is Hippogriff. This time, though, he's going to fight Hippogriff with ground gargoyle form. Again, wanting to stay as low as possible so we can get as many ground hits in as possible. The ground hits from Ground Gargoyle do 2 damage, while the air hits do only 1 damage. So the more hits you can do to an enemy on the ground as Ground Gargoyle, the better. The Hulk having a pretty good boss there. Star just now starting it. Brojman not too far behind, about to drop into the portal. The Hulk going for some tornado swag there. Hey, Sagging Rufus. How's it going? So this is going to be the first time you see some pretty crazy tornado jumps. The Hulk going through that first room with the tame version. Dropping down, and he's going to be grabbing another talisman here. Star not taking any damage, so just going for it instead of picking up the health. The Hulk about to rocket up this room with a new tornado strat. Ooh, Brojman missing a first tornado jump, unfortunately. Losing a little bit of time there, but La Hulk cruising ahead, getting to Arma 2. This is the second of the 3 times we're going to see this boss. Unfortunately, Arma 2 is easily the most random of the 3 Arma fights. and the longest as well. Star also starting the Arma fight. Cinema having a little bit of trouble in the first tornado room, but still not too far behind. The Hulk should be wrapping up Arma here shortly. Broachman about to start the fight. Star having a fairly good fight. I have a feeling the gap is probably going to shorten here a little bit. The Hulk, I think, is only a few hits left. There we go. The Hulk got the kill, and I'm pretty sure Star's not too far behind. Broachman also in the fight now. Star in the second half of the fight with the giant tornadoes you're not able to see because running a 60 FPS game. Oh, and Star definitely gaining some time there. Getting a pretty good Arma kill. The Hulk heading back into the Wind Palace, switching to the aerial form being what we just got from Arma 2. Aerial form's able to vertically fly, unlike any other gargoyle form. Broachman killing Arma 2 as well. Now, another point of clarification here. The Hulk is switching to normal gargoyle form here because even though Aerial can fly vertically, Aerial Gargoyle is immune to the wind speed up in this room, so it's definitely faster to go through as normal gargoyle, but he's going to be switching back to Aerial here so that he can kill this flyer boss. This is the first of the 2 times we see Flyer, and he is actually named Flyer. Incredibly creative, I'm sure. And this is the easy version of the Flyer fight. We're going to be seeing it again later when it's much more difficult. Star also starting the Flyer fight here. There's an early shot that you can get at the start of the Flyer fight, but I don't believe either runner got the early hit so far. Star with a decent pattern, but missing a couple shots. I think he lost a little time there. The Hulk heading into the Ice Palace, going for the first boss in this area, Griwan. Griwan's actually pretty tough. The Griwan fight looks pretty easy, but if you even flinch too early, Griwan's just going to deck you in the face. It's pretty bad. So you have to be very careful when fighting this boss, and make sure to only react to him. Hulk picking up the scroll here. And here we go, the Griwan fight. This is definitely a big point of concentration for the runners. You only want to move and attack Griwan when he flinches. If he runs under you, you have to be very careful not to drop down and make sure you turn around and get a good shot. Good read from the Hulk there when it tried to move under him. And see, as you can see, Griwan doesn't always move at the same rhythm. It can be pretty tough. It's true, Boots. I have choked quite a bit on Griwan. The Hulk and Star both getting fairly good patterns here for Griwan. The Hulk killing Griwan at a 10:54. Star might actually be... Yeah, Star might actually be neck and neck with the Hulk right now. Okay, Star is a little behind. Yeah, Star is still a little behind. Wasn't sure because of the lag on my end. The Hulk going back in here, getting the 4th vial that we need before all the Mercury Sulfur shenanigans, which I'll get into later. Heading over to the next set of fights. You may have noticed by now, but each level has 2 routes 2 bosses, 2 routes that you can go through. Well, not always 2 bosses. Sometimes there's halfway bosses like the Flyer Revisit or the Hippogriff Revisit, but every area has the same number of power-ups total and the same number of end bosses. The Hulk breaking into the door here, going for another health power-up. Broachman killing Griwan. I think slowly falling, but falling more and more behind. Star still neck and neck with the Hulk. Cinema just now starting the Griwan fight. The Hulk going through the room just before Flyer 2. This room's actually can be kind of tricky. You want to get as many drop shots as possible so that you're not just sitting there in air, not moving, getting your shots. So you want to fall through the air and get your shots in. Star having a few examples of that right there. Now this is basically the same as the previous Flyer fight, but much more difficult. Dealing more damage, taking more damage. Patterns are about the same, though. So at least there's that. I think his scythe moves a little differently. Ooh, the Hulk going for some risky dances here. Star also starting the fight. The Hulk having a decent fight here. Getting good patterns all around. And nice. Very good Flyer 2 fight from the Hulk. And Star coming in closely behind. So the Hulk's entering the next dark room. This room is probably one of the more difficult in the game, for sure. Yeah, the Hulk only a couple seconds, or Star only a couple seconds behind the Hulk here. The Hulk going through this dark room, picking up the armor talisman, which is the first one we'll actually use. That one reduces the damage that you take by half, so it allows you to be much, much more durable. Coming up is the Arma 3 fight. The reason why we killed Griwan first is explicitly for this fight. So now he has the ultimate Demon Fire, which just absolutely destroys Arma 3 in very few hits. $12 to be exact. It's actually possible to get an early pickup on this boss as well, but you have to get pretty lucky with Arma 3's positioning. Ooh, the Hulk missing a couple shots here. Star might have a chance to pull ahead. Though, all in all, the Hulk had a pretty good fight there. Oh, the boss is right up against the wall. Star might be going for the early pickup. Let's see if he can get it. Oh, I don't think he got it. No, no dice. The Hulk going into the town again to pick up the 4 potions that we need for this run. You need 32 Zam in order to get 2 Mercuries and 2 Sulfurs. What Mercuries do is they take you to the previous room. Sulfurs boot you out to the world map. And what we're going to do is we're going to use those Mercuries for a 2-frame perfect trick called Mercury Cancel, which allows us to pick up the item from the boss and move to the previous room, as opposed to just picking up the item from the boss or just moving to the previous room. The Hulk dipping into the water here to pick up the last vial. And the Mercury Cancel will actually be coming up soon on the next boss. It essentially allows us to revisit the same stage without having to go back to the world map, saving quite a bit of time. There's 2 Mercury Cancels. The first one saves about 10 seconds. The second one saves about 16. Picking up another health pickup there. And heading over to the next boss, Belth. Fairly straightforward. There we go. I'm not sure how far Lehulk is from his PB in this. During this race. Aight. Lehulk using ultimate form, which is what we got from Arma 3. Just destroying Belth, but the big Mercury cancel is coming up right here. Let's see if he can get it. Oh, that's bad! Lehulk with the early Mercury. Star is gonna pull way ahead here. Okay, Star getting the Mercury cancel, pulling ahead. Lehulk still getting up the stuff he needs from the revisit, but unfortunately Lehulk is going to need to kill that boss again. Star taking a definitive lead here. Broachman having his turn at the Mercury cancel here soon. And he got it! Broachman has his first Mercury cancel. Star going for some more revisit shenanigans, equipping the Sulfur. And getting the second to last scroll, I believe. Lehulk opting to just pick up instead of going for the second Mercury. But that's generally better. Broachman also pulling ahead of Lehulk. Star showing off what a Sulfur does, taking you right back to the world so that he can continue the revisits elsewhere. Yeah, Broachman about one screen ahead of Lehulk right now. Star on pretty good pace at the moment. Lehulk also heading down there for that Sulfur. So, the stage that Star is going through, a lot of new players would opt to go through as Aerial Gargoyle, but it saves just enough time for it to be worth it to go through here as Ground Gargoyle. Star even goes through both of these stages as Ground Gargoyle instead of just the first one or just the second one, which you'll probably see. Well, usually it's just the first one as Ground Gargoyle, but Star goes through both as Ground Gargoyle to save about half a second on the second stage. And Lehulk getting his Sulfur out of there on the revisit. Star getting the last thing he needs in the Coliseum, using his Sulfur, getting out of there. And now Star is heading over to Atlantis. One of the next stages set up, we're going to be seeing the Crawler boss, which can be sort of manipulated, but not really. He seems to have some manipulated-esque patterns, but it's hard to figure out exactly what to do consistently and have everyone in the community getting the same results. Broachman getting his Revisit Sulfur. His second Revisit Sulfur. Star picking up some more hidden health. And triggering the Crawler cutscene, what we're going to be doing here is he's going to clip through Crawler and end up going through the hidden area, which has another health upgrade. Shoutouts to the Red Aramer in chat. Red Aramer being the Japanese name for Firebrand. Star starting the crawler fight here, hoping he can get the second Mercury cancel without too much trouble. Having a fairly good crawler. Crawler opening his eyes pretty readily. Nice, very good crawler from Star Surfer here. And let's see if he can get the second cancel. Ooh, very good! Star with both Mercury cancers under his belt. Brojman and LaHulk about to get their chance at the trick. Star heading deep into the water. Star on a very good pace, by the way. Very, very good pace. Broj starting the crawler fight now. LaHulk about to start the crawler fight. Decent flyer, or decent crawler for Brojman. And, ooh, okay. Brojman missed the second Mercury cancel, but at least it wasn't early. LaHulk also with a decent crawler, catching up a little bit to Brojman. Let's see if he can get this second Mercury cancel. Ooh, okay. LaHulk unfortunately didn't get either Mercury cancel, so he wasn't able to pull ahead of Brojman there, though they are still pretty close. Star Surfer heading through the water to the next boss, Holothurion. Having fairly good water movement here. Getting trolled a little bit by the merman, but fortunately he's out through the home stretch and just has to fight Holothurion. And again, another boss that's kind of hard to tell what he's doing on stream, but Holothurion's only way of attacking is moving the water currents around, pulling you into him and into the weird gunk that he has shooting around. Star playing it safe and switching to armor here instead of the hand. Wasting a couple menus, but definitely being much safer for this fight. And I can't blame him considering his current pace. Having a decent Holothurion so far. Going for the inside kill, but gonna get pushed out just at the last second. Cinema getting his shot at the second Mercury cancel here in a moment, going up against Crawler. LaHulk slowly dropping the gap between him and Brojman. Star getting a nice Holothurion kill and heading on to the forest revisit. Switching to Aerial here so that he can break some blocks. Cinema going for his Mercury cancel. Let's see if he can get it. And unfortunately, no Mercury cancel from Cinema. Not sure if he got the first one. I missed it. LaHulk and Brojman starting the Holothurion cutscene at the same time, neck and neck. Star heading through the underwater section of the forest, picking up a few more spare things. Trying to make these water cycles. This one right here is very important so that he can actually get up there without having to switch to flyer. Nice clear of the blocks, getting up the last scroll of the game. This being the second to last level, it's a lot of just cleanup on the revisit. LaHulk pulling ahead of Brojman again with a much better Holothurion. Not quite getting the inside pickup, but still pretty good. Star picking up one of the last health upgrades. You can notice he's getting pretty close. LaHulk and Brojman heading into the forest. Star is currently fighting Skulla. Skulla has less health on the head than the body, about half, I believe, but you want to make sure to kill the head first, or ideally at the same time to save some death animation. But Star, Star having a really good Skulla fight there, and heading into the final castle. on fantastic pace, I might add. Broachman and Lahulk about a level behind. Cinema still on decent pace as well. This is a fantastic race, ladies and gentlemen. Very close between our runners. Star doing the last of the refights, starting with Hippogriff 3. I thought he missed the headbutt for a second there. Not too much. Hippogriff 3 is basically the same. A lot of the revisits in the castle are the exact same. You're just ridiculously overpowered now. Lahulk starting the Skulla fight. Widening the gap between him and Broachman. Star electing to skip that health pickup, mostly because you get the last health power-up hidden in this bell right here. By far my favorite hidden health in the whole game. Probably the most deviously hidden, too. Why would you even think that you can interact with this thing? And just one more talisman left for Star to pick up, and then he has 100%. Using the claw, this being the first time we've seen the claw in order to get over these spikes. This also being another windy room. This one being pretty tough to make it through, though, because there's even more enemies and a lot less room to maneuver, especially when going over those spikes. Ooh, having a tough time getting over that last pillar. Losing a little bit of time there. But he picked up the Fang, which is the last talisman and the last collectible for 100%. Fang dealing double damage with all of your attacks. Pretty useful. Now, it's really easy to check to see if you have 100% or not. There's a optional boss that you only fight if you have 100%. So if you kill Phalanx the second time with his second form and you don't see a third form, you do not have 100%. But fortunately, everybody seems to have 100% right now and have all the items that they're supposed to. Star wrapping up the last fight here. Or the last refight here. And going into the final boss, Phalanx. Phalanx has 3 forms, 1, 2, and 3. Depending on how many bosses you've killed over the course of the game determines which form of Phalanx you see, or at least the last form of Phalanx you see. Since this is 100%, we're going to be seeing all 3 forms of Phalanx. Lahulk having a really nice spike pillar there, but probably not going to be able to catch up to Star unless Star dies on this final boss. Star still on fantastic pace. There we go. Phalanx 1 is down. The easiest of the 3 for sure. Now for Phalanx 2, he's going to want to take as little damage as possible so that he can more easily go for the quick kill on Phalanx 3. Lahulk also about to start Phalanx 1 here. Star starting the Phalanx 2 fight. He's going to want to, instead of menuing, he's going to want to get up there using the water. And hopefully he gets a good pattern here. Decent so far. Nice! Very good Phalanx 2 from Star Surfer. Having an absurd amount of health going into the Phalanx 3 fight. He's going to want to... he's going to need all that health so that he can damage boost into the final boss and basically just get right up in there. Definitely, believe Star is currently on sub 40 pace if he can get a really good Phalanx 3. Star going for a little bit of swag here with the reverse. There's a very small window, only a few frames, where you can put inputs, and Star electing to use that to turn around like a champ. Brojman and La Hulk starting Phalanx 2 here. Star dropping in. Decent setup for the first phase of the quick kill. Let's see how far he can get. Okay, good start, good start. He's going to need to go in there again, though. Alright, good laser pattern. Knocked out by the orb, but he's getting in there. Not sub 40, but still real good. Come on, Star, you're so close. About one hit left. Hey, there we go! Star with a new PB, 40-18. La Hulk going in for his shot at Phalanx 3. Very impressive showing from Star Surfer here. The Hulk also going in with a fairly large amount of health. Brojman also having a fantastic Phalanx 2. Let's see how those two can do against the quick kill on Phalanx 3. The Hulk with a pretty good start to the quick kill. Let's see if he can get back in there. Nice, not bad. Ooh, unfortunately, he took quite a bit of damage there. He's gonna have to play it safe for the rest of the fight. The minimum amount of damage that you can take from Phalanx 2 is 2 damage. La Hulk cutting it real close here. Almost done. You can see Phalanx 3 starting to turn red, so he's real close. Come on, La Hulk, you can do it. There we go! La Hulk coming in second. Star Surfer getting his own attempts in. Unfortunately, I was not taking a look at Brojman's screen to see how his quick kills are going. Looks like he's doing a decent job. All of our racers neck and neck here. Cinema starting the Phalanx fights. Come on, Brojman, you can do it. This whole fight's always super tense. Cinema having a pretty good Phalanx 1 there. Let's see how his Phalanx 2 goes. Brojman wrapping up Phalanx 3 here. Only a few hits left. Looks like he's choosing to play it safe right to the finish here. And there we go! Brojman with another fantastic time. Very, very good race, everybody. Now let's see what Cinema can do. Cinema closing out the end of this race, but still having potential for a fairly good time. Not sure what Brojman's final time was, but pretty sure it was a sub 43 at the very least. 42-42, nice. Excellent time, Brojman. Cinema with a decent Phalanx 2. Let's see how we can do against Phalanx 3. The slow approach. Alright, good luck, Cinema, on your Phalanx 3. Ike going for a nice clean start, jumping out instead of going back in. Looks like he's probably going to be playing it safe for the rest of the fight. Decent start, got at least a couple hits in. Come on, Cinema, you can do it. As someone who's done this fight quite a few times and a runner of this game, this fight is always tense. Whether you're playing it safe or doing a quick kill, it is pretty rough. Getting in what shots he can. But better to play it safe than do all of this all over again, especially with that super long run-up. He's getting there. Phalanx 3 starting to turn a little red. Not too many hits left. Almost there. Here we go. And there we go. Four strong finishes. That was a fantastic race, ladies and gentlemen. GG all around. GG all around. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was insane. Star Surfer, La Hulk, Brojman, and finally Cinema. Congratulations, everybody.
Well done, everybody. That was awesome.
That was a great race. That was a great
Congratulations to
race.
Star Surfer for sure.
Yeah, Star Surfer had an amazing performance there. Crazy to PB during such a huge marathon.
And the Hulk can use his, I was playing 2 games at once just before this as an excuse for not doing so well.
So, I'd just like to point out that La Hulk lost at least 30-40 seconds to an early Mercury and still almost got a third place time on the leaderboard.
He's, what can we say? The Hulk is a Hulk at video games.
Actually, I'm
Hulk
gonna check that
smash
right now because I'm not sure
records.
what Brojman's time is. I want to check that because I think he might have actually just gotten third place with an early Mercury, because that would be insane.
Brodron was saying he got a 42-42. What was
Okay.
the last bit?
10 seconds off. The Hulk was 10 seconds off of third place with an early Mercury. That is insane. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, Brojman got 42-42-44.
Yep. But yeah, sub 43 is a fantastic time. That's close to my time. My time's a 42:06. So the Hulk and Star shattered my time.
To be fair, Cinema's 46 is a pretty darn good time too.
That's true.
Let's
That's
not
true.
mince words here.
46. It's like sub 50 is honestly a very good time as well.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Everybody, you guys did awesome.
Yes, that was a great race.
Real impressed.
Looks like Star going for some Dark Demon hype here.
An admirable showing by everybody. I guess so. BTA fail. You can link the leaderboard. Oh, Brojman got there first.
Oh, Brojman beat you to it. Yeah, so as you can see, we have 1 through 5 participating or commentating in this race.
I'm here too.
Okay, so it looks like Cinema is did get the first Mercury cancel. I completely missed it. I was too busy commentating 4 people at the same time.
Honestly, Cinema got really, really close to his PB there. Only 58 seconds off.
He did get pretty close.
That's nothing to be ashamed of at all. That was amazing. Well done, Cinema. He comes in here to a race and nearly does the best he's ever done before.
Fair.